AssalamuAlaikum. I hope that you're doing well. So, this is a part of the Naveed Bhai voiceover recording, which sadly got corrupted. So I'm re-recording it just to go through everything else, right? So here we go. This is lipids. Now, there are two types of tests that we did regarding lipids. And we'll start off with the very foundational one, which is known as emulsification. So, what is emulsification? What's the most common example that you can think of? The most common example is, of course, oil and water. And oil and water are also known as immiscible liquids. They don't go well together, right? So if you have any sort of lipid and you add water to it, and then you start annoying it, you start agitating it, you start shaking it, right? What would happen? A cloudy mixture would form, right? And that cloudy mixture would, you know, stay as long as you continue shaking it. But once you stop, once you let it settle, what happens what that oil would start settling at the top. That is what you would observe. So this is a form of temporary uh, emulsification, right? This example right here with oil and water, that is temporary. What now? What if you wanted to make this permanent? How does the body make it permanent? The body makes it permanent by using bile salts, right? This is how you get permanent emulsification. Now, basically, a cloudy emulsification forms and it remains even after, you stop agitation, right? It remains. It's going to stay a cloudy emulsification, a cloudy solution forever. What, how does that help? Why does the body do it? What's the point? The point is, well, multiple points. It helps out in so many different ways. So by emulsifying the fat, the lipid, you could increase the surface area. Now, how would increasing the surface area help? It would help the enzymes for performing their activity, for performing their action of breaking down the lipid. It would help in that process, right? And also when you're about to digest this specific lipid, this would help out with that as well. So these are the few significances of emulsification. Okay, so that's about it. This was the first test, emulsification. Immiscible liquid, for example, oil and water. So this is a temporary form of emulsification. How is it temporary? So if you continue shaking it, it would remain as a cloudy mixture. But when you stop, there would be a layering happening. Okay. For permanent emulsification, you would use a bile salt, right? And how would that, like, why is this useful? It's useful in multiple ways. It's most importantly useful for enzyme activity because breaking down the lipids into small droplets would help out in the absorption as well. Okay, so that's about it. The next test is the lipid solubility tests, right? So you would need to remember the fat soluble vitamins, which are the A, vitamin B, vitamin E, and vitamin K. And you also need to know four non-polar solvents, right? What are the four non-polar solvents? They are acetone, benzene, chloroform, and ether, right? So what does solubility depend on? Solubility depends on whether the lipid is in the polar solvent or non-polar solvent. So think about it. Lipid itself is hydrophobic, right? So of course it would dissolve better in a non-polar solvent, right? So that's it. So more hydrophobic solution, more easily soluble would be the lipid, right? That's the concept. And yeah, finally you have types. So you have simple lipids, compound lipids, derived lipids. So simple lipid would be the fat itself, the derived lipids, sorry, the compound lipids would be the glycolipids or sphingolipids, while the derived lipids would have two types, which is saturated and unsaturated. So an example for monosaturated would be oleic acid, and another example would be palmitic acid. While polyunsaturated fatty acid would be the linoleic acid. Okay, that's about it. So, well, there's the lipids done. Two tests of emulsification and then how to check for solubility. Okay, so that's about it. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow or some other day. Assalamualaikum. Have a beautiful day ahead. Bye bye.